The 5-element fists are the foundational techniques of Xingyi Quan, and they give rise to all other techniques. Hence they are referred to classically as the mother fists. The key function of practicing the 5-element fists is to develop specific vectors of force. Each individual element focuses on specific vectors of force which are manifested through body mechanics. It is these vectors of force which are applied to and give rise to all other techniques, literally the elements included in all actions. Pao Quan, or cannon fist, is the fourth of the 5 elements. The classics state, the element that cannon relates to is fire. Its form is like an artillery cannon, and the internal organ that it relates to is the heart. The reference to the artillery cannon refers to its vector of force, which explodes ahead, like a cannon launching a cannonball out instantly, as well as its characteristic, which is like the unstoppable destructive ferocity of an exploding cannonball. Pao Quan features one fist drilling up and deflecting, while the other fist punches out ahead. The action and sequence features contraction with explosive expansion. It features a zigzag line, or sawtooth stepping method, moving diagonally left and right while advancing for angled attack and defense. It is both quick and heavy, with explosive and destructive power in both spirit and action. Pao Quan is fast, versatile, structurally sound, and effective. While there are numerous variations of Pao Quan, in this primer video I shall cover the fundamental details and standard execution within my Hebei line of Xingyi Quan. In general, all methods and variations of Pao Quan adhere to and implement the principles that I shall present here. Stand with the feet at shoulder width apart and extend the hands out ahead as you would in the Sun T-shirt position. Move the right hand up under the left hand and extend it out forward. When the hands meet, clench both into fists as you pull them back into the lower abdomen with the fist hearts facing inwards. The elbows are held closely onto the ribs and the crown of the head is pressed upwards. Next, turn the fists so the fist hearts face up and drill the left fist up along the right side of your body to eyebrow height on the right side of your face. The elbow is tucked into the body throughout this motion. As you do this, the right fist follows under the left elbow and rises up to the solar plexus. Punch the right fist out roughly 45 degrees to the left at solar plexus height. As you do this, turn your waist to the left and urge the right shoulder forward as you draw the left shoulder in, rotating the left forearm around the face, ending on the left side of the temple with the fist eye facing the temple. The fist ends at about 1 fist's length distance away from the temple, with the forearm in a near vertical orientation. The forearm that is drilling upwards should be twisted tightly, conforming to the concept of Qi Zuan. The elbow should be held close to the trunk throughout this action. Your upper torso should turn slightly to the side that the arm is drilling up on, and the chest should be closed with the trunk of the body tucked. This tucking and closing aids in storing power. As the arm drills up, the body should sink slightly. The punching fist must travel up the body under the elbow of the drilling arm and not be impeded by the elbow. When striking, ensure you turn the waist, which turns the shoulder, which urges the punching arm's shoulder forward, which drives the elbow and the fist out. This turning of the waist is also what rotates the deflecting arm to revolve around the face, traveling from one side to the other. This should not be achieved by using the arm alone, but rather due to the turning of the waist and shoulders. It is this coordinated turning of the waist and shoulders that generates the expansion and opening of the body when punching and deflecting, which are done in a single action. The punching arm should travel out in a straight line along the center line of the body, with the forearm parallel to the floor. Ensure the elbow remains slightly bent and is not locked straight. The elbow of the deflecting arm should not be raised too high and stick out, but rather it should be sunk, and the forearm should have a drawing in and pulling power as it rotates around the face. The two arms should have a connected and complementary power. Practice this slowly at first to ensure that you conform to the requirements. Once you have some proficiency with the movement, you may add speed and power and continue to practice on the spot. As Pao Quan features footwork that has not been covered previously, once you are proficient in the upper body actions, you should then practice Pao Quan's footwork independently before combining the upper and lower body actions. Initially place your hands and stand as explained in a previously released footwork primer. From here, shift your weight forward without moving your left foot and take a large step forward with the right leg. Land firmly on the right foot with the knee flexed and quickly follow in with the left foot to beside the ankle of the right foot. Keep the knees together. Next, with the left leg, take a large step out ahead, about 45 degrees to the left, and after it has landed, follow in quickly with the right foot, half a step, ending with the majority of your weight on the rear foot. Next, the front foot steps out ahead once again as you land firmly on it and quickly follow in with the rear foot to beside the ankle of the lead foot. Once again, step out now with the right foot, about 45 degrees to the right, and quickly follow in with the left foot, half a step, ending with the majority of your weight on the rear foot. Continue repeating the above, alternating between left and right. The initial step should be straight out ahead, and the toes of the stepping foot should be hooked in slightly as it lands. Land firmly and preload the leg to enable you to forcefully shoot the next step out obliquely. Following each oblique step, ensure that the next initial step goes out forward and ensure that the toes are hooked slightly inwards as the foot lands. Continue to practice the footwork independently until you execute it while maintaining its requirements. Then you will be ready to combine the upper and lower body movements. The standard method of executing Pao Quan features the issuing of force timed with the front foot in an aobu or opposite step, which has the opposite hand and foot forward. The handwork and zigzag stepping details already explained in this primer video are to be combined. Extend the two hands out as you shift your weight forward, and they should finish their action, ending at your abdomen as the first step lands. Drill the fist up your side and coil your body as you preload your leg to step out and strike. Take a long advancing step, charging forwards fiercely as you turn the waist and punch out. The strike arrives as your front foot lands. Quickly follow in with the rear foot. Make sure that each step is executed in the correct direction and that the orientation of the toes is correct. Failure to do this will result in the crotch opening and suboptimal force being generated by the steps. Coiling and twisting of the waist is key to creating the opening and closing of the body, which generates force. This should be well coordinated, whole body integrated action. When closing, the chest closes and the body tucks as you sink your weight slightly. This stores power. Uncoil and turn the waist forcefully when striking. When punching, the shoulder, elbow, and fist are aligned on the same plane, and the strike has a slight upward power. Keep the shoulders and elbows settled. As with each of the 5-element fists, Pao Quan requires daily repetition and long-term focused practice in order for the correct body mechanics, actions, and force vector to manifest. Pao Quan combines defensive action with an offensive action. The fist drills up and defends the abdomen, chest, and then as the waist twists, the arm rolls out to defend the head. This twisting is also what drives the punch out. Footwork is the key to attack and defense, and Pao Quan introduces the practitioner to angling and oblique movement, which requires diligent, prolonged training to utilize correctly. As with all Xingyi Quan, whole body, coordinated power is required, utilizing the entire body as one, from the root to the extremity. When practicing, focus on this coordination to enable you to generate power from your legs and transfer this to your hands. While deeper details regarding Pao Quan's practice, its variations and applications should be attained through direct transmission by learning from an authentic teacher, I have presented here the fundamental version of Pao Quan, most prominent in Hebei lines of Xingyi Quan. The details covered in this primer video will enable you to begin or correct your practice.